Hello, everyone. This is Jeffrey Kerr. I'm here today with a very special guest. She's a stage manager and theater technician from Raleigh, North Carolina. Some of her recent credits include Theatre Raleigh's productions of Come From Away and Once on This Island, as well as Raleigh Little Theatre's productions of MAD LIBS Live and The Color Purple. Up next, she'll be a stage management fellow for the Children's Theatre Company in Minneapolis, Minnesota for their 2026-27 season. Please welcome Jada B. Smith.
Hi.
To start things off, would you mind telling us about your new job with CTC?
Oh, yes. So I'm the stage management fellow for Children's Theatre Company's season this year, and it's been a really exciting process. In my position, I pretty much will be working under their residential stage managers, just learning about how they go about hosting their productions, about their process. It's a really valuable learning opportunity for me as a beginner in the or early career professional. So in my position, I will be helping with paperwork all throughout the rehearsal process, learning about their processes through tech and understudy uh, rehearsals, yes, and all the way through opening.
And how did the opportunity come about?
So I actually found this on Offstage Jobs. That's where a lot of the job listings are for people who are kind of looking for things in the theater world. They list anything from a temporary position to full time. And I happened to stumble across this job opportunity because I was looking for positions for early career professionals. And when I read the job description, I was like, oh, this is exactly what I want to do, and I thought it would be a really great fit for me. So I took a leap of faith and I applied. Even though I was living in North Carolina at the time, I was like, you know what? If it's meant to be, it'll be. And so here I am.
And how excited are you to be starting?
Oh, I'm very excited. It's been a little nerve-wracking considering it was such a big move, but the people here have been so nice and so welcoming. And anytime I have a question, everyone is very eager to come and help me out with learning anything. They are very open to me learning in other departments as well. So that has been really exciting to look forward to a little later on in the season.
Yeah, and what are you most looking forward to with the job?
I think I'm really looking forward to working on The Grinch because it's a classic. The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. Everyone knows the movie with Jim Carrey, or the classic animated version of the movie. And so I'm really excited to work on that one because I heard it's one of the biggest shows that they put on every year. And they have a big turnout. And this will be my first time working on the show. So that is definitely the production that I'm looking forward to the most, and getting to learn the backstage process and how the stage managers handle it every year.
Well, yeah, as most theater companies tend to put on their own version of a Christmas Carol every holiday season. Well, hey, might as well take on a different classic Christmas tale.
Yes.
And what does it mean to you to be working with a theater company that specializes in putting on shows for the next generation of audiences?
I think it means a lot to me because I grew up loving theater and wanting to pretty much put my hands in all different aspects of the theater world, everything from performing to backstage. And I did grow up in an athlete family. So it was kind of one of those things where um, they weren't really familiar with the theater world. They didn't really know how to nurture that aspect of my life. And so for me being in the position to where I get to work with the next generation, it kind of heals the inner child in me. Being able to work with kids, knowing that these kids have the passion for theater and wanting to perform and be storytellers. And I'm just so grateful to be a part of that process.
Oh yeah, I mean being involved in theater on stage or off, it's always like very exciting to be a part of.
Yes.
And going back to the beginning, how did you first get started in the theater?
I actually started off as a performer. I performed in my local church, and I also sung in the children's choir. And as I got older, when I got to middle school, I was taking theater classes. When I got to high school, I was taking theater and chorus. So I've always kind of had that performer aspect throughout my life. And I got into stage management when I was in college because I really wanted to touch on more technical aspects of the theater world. And so that was where I kind of learned all of that. And I guess when I graduated, I was like, I definitely want to work with children and nurturing that part of themselves. Once again, looping back to the inner child in me and being able to nurture them and see them grow up it's a pleasure, really.
And do you recall the first job you ever had in the theater?
As a stage manager, my first job was at Raleigh Little Theatre as an assistant stage manager for their production of The Color Purple. That was such I was overwhelmed with so much joy being in the room because it was not only my first stage manager job, but it was the first job or first show that I ever did that had an all black cast. And so that was a very unique experience, and I loved every second of it.
What do you think you learned most on that job that you managed to carry with you moving forward?
I think the thing that I learned the most really was just nurturing people, recognizing that we all come to this room to tell a story, but we are all people at the end of the day, and we all bring our own history and our own backgrounds to the room, and we all have something different to offer. And I think that creating space for everyone to be themselves and to be able to show their talent and to bring their backgrounds um, into the room is it creates a lot of all I can think of is unique. Like everyone is unique, and creating that space for everyone ultimately will create a greater story for the audience at the end of the day.
And as a contributor for Broadway World here in Raleigh, I've managed to cover a couple of productions you previously worked on, such as Once on This Island and Come From Away. And how do you look back at your time working with Theatre Raleigh?
I think with Theatre Raleigh, it was the first time I had ever worked with industry professionals, and I learned so much working there, especially with and on those shows. The other ASM, her name is Odie. Shout out to Odie, I love her so much, and she taught me almost everything I know. I think that not only were they very welcoming to me being new to the industry, but everyone who I came across was always welcome to lend a helping hand. And everyone is very, I don't know why the word unique is the one that's really sticking out to me today, but it's a very unique experience working with industry professionals because they taught me how to not only balance like business, but also recognize that it's you can play in the room. It is a time for play as well as business, balancing the two.
And do you expect a similar type of experience with CTC?
I think yes. I think bringing that experience that I've learned or everything that I've learned along the way will help with my current role at CTC. I think with working with children and adults here, I think it has definitely been very useful. I think when I was going through the education system while doing performing arts, I think play wasn't really touched on too much. It was kind of like everyone has to lock in and do the thing. And I think as I get older and working more and more in the industry, I'm learning that yes, there is a time for play and you can combine the two. So, and I think that it will really help me, especially with working with the children.
And looking ahead into the future, where do you see your career going within the next 10 years or so?
In the next 10 years, I really hope to work with CTC again. I know that the previous fellow is currently working for them now. I think after CTC, I would love to go on a tour at some point. That would be really exciting. I would love to travel and continue my stage management work.
Maybe eventually you'll find yourself working on Broadway.
Who knows? only, only the future holds. Yeah.
And before we go, do you have any other upcoming projects that you'd like to share with us?
As of right now, I'm mainly focused on my work at CTC. Since I will be here throughout the entire season, I'm currently working on Pinocchio, and then we have our Curtain Call Ball coming up, which is their annual fundraiser gala. And then after that, the next show I'll be ASMing is Princess K of the Milky Way.
All right, sounds exciting.
Yes, it's very exciting.
Well, Jada, I thank you very much for devoting your time to this conversation. It was great getting to talk to you.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure talking to you too.
And for those who'd like to keep up with your career, where can people find you on the internet?
I can be found on Instagram at JBSmithXO, or you can find me on LinkedIn at Jada B Smith.
All right. Thanks again for joining me today, Jada. This was great.
Thank you so much.